Hi. If you're watching this message right now, it means that you're about to watch between episodes 1 and 23 of my show, Conversations with Atul. Please note that when you'll be watching these first 23 episodes, you will just see a picture of me and a picture of the guest on your screen. That is because the first 23 episodes we never recorded live video. These were audio only episodes meant for Spotify. So what happened was, when I shifted my show to YouTube and started recording video, I felt that my audience should also listen to these first fantastic 23 episodes with some amazing people, great anecdotes, inspiring lives. Like Mukhtar Bhai, who runs a carom club in Thane for the last 35 years. The amazing voiceover artist Nikhil Kapoor. The orchestra man Sudhir Sinha, or the whistler Nagesh Surve. I wanted you to be a part of this experience. One little thing that you will see this message that I've recorded right now before each of the 23 episodes of Conversations with Atul. So, enjoy the conversations and welcome to Conversations with Atul.
Conversations with Atul.
Did you know that the country of Lithuania restored its independence as late as 1990? Are you aware that Lithuanian is one of the oldest living languages in the world? Have you ever heard what a Lithuanian song sounds like? Now tell me honestly, do you even know anything about Lithuania, its history and its culture? If you were as ignorant as I was before this deeply moving conversation, my guess is not. So in the first of my two-part conversation, let me help you know and discover Lithuania a little better by conversing with painter and art therapist Audrone Brazauskaite. As with her country, Audrone too has a story of her own, which includes a grandfather who was deported to a concentration camp and was never seen again, a father who founded an airport, her roots in nobility, spies in her art academy, and what it felt like to celebrate Christmas behind closed curtains during Soviet times. So let's welcome painter and art therapist Audrone Brazauskaite, a woman who has seen a whole country live in silent trauma and someone who strongly believes that art prospers best under adversity and limitation. Hi, I'm Atul Taishete and welcome to my podcast, Conversations with Atul. Hello, and today we have a very interesting guest. Her name is Audrone Brazauskaite. She is from the country of Lithuania. So as you know that I've started this new series where I'm trying to record a conversation with people from different countries and see whether how different are we from them or how similar are we. And this is the second of that series. You remember that I did one with Curtis Cole from the US, and you realize that our lives are not so different at all, and our lives are so different. So that's the whole idea of this. Now, how many of us really know what Lithuania is and where it is and how it operates and what part of it it was a part of the USSR. How many of us know all this and a lot of other history? And of course, we're going to talk with Audrone, and she is what you call an art therapist. She's a painter, and she's a pretty well-known person in her own country. So what we're going to have here is give a warm welcome to Miss Audrone Brazauskaite. Have I said it right?
Yes, right. Thank you, Atul. I'm said right, your name.
Yes.
So ask me please what is interesting for you.
No,
for your
everything is.
audience.
I think the way this podcast works is that it's a long form podcast, and I always say this that you don't just get into interesting things. When you're friends, you talk about a lot of things, and then you reach the depth that a friendship is or that a conversation is. So the whole idea of this conversation is to talk enough that we reach certain levels of depth, or maybe if you're lucky enough, and from the first sentence we are going to say something very profound, but that usually doesn't happen. So I'll tell you how my conversation starts is that I believe that essentially all of us are immigrants. And right now, at least in this country, it's like who's come 500 years back and 700 years back, and why did they come 500 years back? There's some ridiculous things happening in this country, at least I feel. But everybody's an immigrant. Like my friends are sending their children abroad to the US and to Europe to study, and with the intention of settling them. So your children have become immigrants, though you hate other immigrants or dislike other immigrants. So that's a very strange way that we are understanding the world right now. So my thing to you is, and you were in Lithuania all these years, and now suddenly you find yourself in Mud Island in Bombay, because you're married an Indian and you're here. So you're suddenly an immigrant in a way that you've come all the way here and for love. And what I want to understand is that where has been your family? Like if you take your family 2 generations, 4 generations, even 20 generations back, what has been the history of your family that you finally, most of your family is in Lithuania, right?
Yes.
So how did they land up there, or where are they? And like say your grandparents. So please, the floor, the mic is yours.
Okay, so because you started that nobody or how many of you knows about Lithuania, so I a little bit say some basic information where Lithuania are. Lithuania are near the Baltic Sea and the Baltic countries together with Latvia and Estonia. What is important, that Lithuanian language is one of oldest Indo-European languages, and in the world universities where are studying Sanskrit as oldest language, Indo-European language, but which is not alive, only in scientific manuscripts. Sanskrit is this language is using. So Lithuanian language is example of one of oldest Indo-European languages which exist, which alive, and people still talk. So this is maybe because of it's also very interesting. Maybe it's like this happened. Why our language is not change in the ages and resist in isolation and to keep our very natural and old roots of language. So maybe also is like it's express our history, because in Lithuanian history a lot of resistance, because we have very big and very aggressive neighbor Russia. So many long history of near this neighbor is resistance. So this also can be idea why language is not changed, is like resistance. It's always was kept all traditions, all the songs and poetry and everything in this language, like resistance to occupation. So Lithuania is also one of the...
But how, I'll just ask you, because how old is this language? And what is it called? It's called Lithuanian, or what is
Yes,
this?
it's Lithuanian, but it's called, we are 3 languages which called Baltic language. It is Lithuanian language, Latvian language, and Prussian language. But Prussian also now is not exist. So now is alive 2 languages, Latvian and Lithuanian language. So
But you don't speak Russian in Lithuania?
No, we speak Russian because we were learned in Soviet times. I was learned from in my kindergarten Russian language. It was obligatory.
Okay.
But our language is, as I said, is absolutely different. It's Lithuanian language. And also I can say that a very important difference. But Russian language is Slavic language. So Russian, Poland, Romanian, Czech. What else? Many other languages, also Ukrainian, Belarusian. This is Slavic languages. They have Kirillitsa, and they absolutely different group of languages.
Okay.
So Lithuanian and Latvian is Baltic languages, which is a different group. So we have not similarities in language.
What would be the difference? I mean, because I think people here wouldn't really understand the difference between a Baltic and a...
How I can tell?
Okay, right.
It's
Because it's
like
very difficult for somebody to say that Tamil is different from Hindi, or an Indian. You're right. I mean,
No,
so,
I gave example,
word,
but we
no,
are in from different groups of languages. You know that.
no, I understand, but I'm saying that there are no common words between these two languages.
No.
Not at
No,
all.
only that you know such a. Even if you want to know between Lithuanian language and Sanskrit, there are maybe 50 common words.
Okay,
And even in Hindi, we found here in family that there are such words like pokshi. I said, my mother-in-law show through the window, she said, pokshi, and to her son, and then to me she translate to English, but I understand pokshi because in Lithuanian birds are also pokshi, the same word.
Oh, pokshi.
Yes.
So then Bengali they call it pokshi.
Yeah.
In Hindi they call it pakshi.
And in Lithuanian pokshi.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So there are many examples like dashimt, also dashimt, 10.
What does that mean?
10.
10.
Dashimt.
Okay.
Dasham.
Dasham.
Yeah.
Dasham.
Yeah.
So it's 10. Okay.
So it's a if we your question was similar words between Russian. I'm not linguistic person, but I can say that in all Indo-European languages we can find all the words like mother, so mama, and mom, or medus.
Okay.
It's med, medus in Lithuania, med in Hindi. So it's such very archetypal words, very, very old, which you can find also in Hindi and in Lithuanian and in Slavic languages.
Yes.
It's like the very old words.
No, I understand it. But how old is the Lithuanian language? I mean,
I can't tell you the age of our language, but I can tell you that Lithuania was the last our religion was pagan, and Lithuania was the last European country which was baptized.
Oh.
So it was in a.
So it became Catholic.
Yeah, but it was the last country. So there also was the Crusaders came from Germany, so they fought it with the local religion, which was deep pagan, and until now we in our traditions, when we celebrate Easter, which are Christian name, or Christmas, which also Christian, but they're all very much integrated pagan traditions. And names, people names are until now they're very popular and use pagan names. My name is pagan name. It means storm. It's pagan, and Lithuanian names are very much name the nature, like I'm storm. My name means storm. My sister's name means sea. Many names are also expressed like sunset, sunrise. So
oh my God.
It's very pagan names which are very popular until today.
Right. Because pagan religion also celebrated nature. I mean, so I guess
trees, adoration of trees are very important in Lithuanian tradition.
Okay.
So with this we can also find in art and in what people like, in mentality also. So what I want to say that Lithuania as a nation was first time was announced as a kingdom in 1251.
Okay.
So after that, it was first time was Lithuania announced in Europe map as a kingdom, And later it was like they lost kingdom, then became nation, and later in 18th century, I think the Tsarist Russia again occupied. So Lithuania won independence in 1918, and then was independent country until Soviets occupied 1940.
So till 1918, it was occupied by whom?
Till 1918
Yeah,
by Tsarist Russia.
by the Tsars.
Yeah.
But it was Russia also. Even then, it was Russia, right? By the Tsars, right? So it was still Russia which was occupying till 1918.
Yeah, but before that, Lithuania was independent. It was not like Lithuania not exist. That Lithuania and in Lithuanian history was a period when it was kingdom time. It is in the medieval time.
Yeah.
Lithuania was very big. Even in the border, Lithuania also reached the Moscow and Kiev. So it's
Right.
not like Lithuanian history is not like Lithuania always was in Russia. Absolutely not. But
No, that's not what I mean.
Yeah.
What I mean is that till 1918, it was occupied by somebody, right?
till 1918, it was occupied by Tsar Russia.
Tsars. And then it became free.
Yeah.
And then it was occupied by Russia again.
Not by Russia, by Soviet Union
By the Soviet
on
Union.
1940.
Oh, so it was free only for 22 years.
Yeah, and then we won independence on 1990.
Yeah. When the USSR broke down.
Yeah. So we start the crash of Soviet Union, Lithuania crash. We announced independence and Soviet Union crash. So from 2004, Lithuania became European Union and NATO, member of NATO, and also currency, euro currency.
Yeah, now it's the euro.
Yeah, it is from 2015.
Okay.
So that is a short.
But do you like this? Because I have actually studied in Paris. I had a scholarship and I was at this film school called La Femis. I don't know whether you know.
Yeah.
So I used to study there. So there was always this thing about whether it's good to be a part of the European Union or not good to be a part of, because a lot of weaker countries are now putting pressure on countries like Germany and France, which are the bigger and the more economically developed, the more powerful countries. So that is showing on them, like Greece and they are like Spain. They're all going through their own storm themselves. So what are your views on this?
Yes, my views are very clear because Lithuania is a very small country. We have around 3 million citizens, and it's clear that when it's big countries around and very aggressive, so we need to choose to which neighbor we want to be closer. And our history shows that Russian neighborhood with Russia is just torture, because many people, almost each family were deported to Gulag. My grandfather passed away in Gulag as a prisoner. So almost each Lithuanian family has such members. So this exists in our memory, in our collective memory. So we choose European Union and pro-American politics to resist and to protect ourselves from Russian politics, from very aggressive politics.
So that's why you're a part of both the NATO as well as the European Union.
Absolutely.
So if you're a part of NATO, you obviously become protected by NATO countries like the US.
Yes, it was very consciously, and it's no doubt about, because it's was in history, people and families are very much suffered. And remember until now, and what is happening now in Ukraine, Lithuania now is one of the strongest supporters for Ukrainians in society, continuously going projects to collect money. I'm not talking about government. Government also. They prepared places in different jobs for Ukrainian refugees. But people, society, independently, continuous collective money and to send to buy things. So because Lithuania and other Baltic countries and also Poland understand very clear that now Ukraine fight for our independence also. So it's a 100%
supporting Ukraine.
Absolutely.
But Ukraine actually never had a choice also of becoming a part of NATO. I mean, because that was how they got their independence.
Yes, but you know, now I didn't want very much to go too deep to politics, but only what I know, that to become member of NATO and European Union, you need to country as a economic union need to reach some status to become a member. So maybe they not became a member because of they not reach economically and politically. But now it's like I don't know how it will be now.
I think when they got independence from the USSR, I think that was one of the conditions that they couldn't become a part of NATO. I think that is how it was, because Ukraine was a pretty well developed country. I mean, they were one of the biggest software giants, if I'm not mistaken.
But I think there are very big, always was very big in Russians interest of Russia in that country, and they always was not very transparent politics. There are many politicians in Ukraine which keep double politics.
Yes, there are certain parts of Ukraine which actually wanted to go with the USSR.
Yeah.
Which wanted to stay with Russia. That's also a part of the story. I mean, let's not. I think that's. But what I found interesting about what you said was that your name means storm.
Yeah.
You know, and normally in between, say, if you ask a Brit or you ask an American what the meaning of the name is, they generally don't have a meaning. But Indians will always ask this question because most Indians have a meaning to their name.
Oh yeah.
You know, and maybe it has to do with that your language being so old and it comes from a certain pagan religion that your name has a meaning, and almost everybody in Lithuania, the name has some meaning, whether it's sunrise or sunset.
Absolutely.
Or whatever. Yeah, I guess that is the common history that might be there.
Yeah.
I just have, okay, everybody, I think we have cleared up what Lithuania was about. I think Audrone just wanted to get it out of the way. Let me talk about my country first so that you know where I come from. But what I wanted to, which comes to the first thing that was asked, is that what is your background, what is your family background? You know, where do you come from? What kind of work were your family doing? And from what part of Lithuania were there? And when they came to where do you live in? Where does most of your family live in Lithuania?
So, as I know, and as I remember, all my family always lived in Lithuania. No, any nation in our family from other countries, I didn't know. But you know, now all interesting scientific researchers are going. When somebody they say that we are like Lithuanian or German or Indian, then they check our blood the DNA and find that they absolutely not we are who we think we are. But yes, my family all are from Lithuania, and I born and live in Vilnius, in Lithuanian capital, and my mother was not from Vilnius, from one small city, Ukmergė, in the middle of Lithuania, and my father was from Klaipėda, near the sea, because Lithuania also have connection with Baltic Sea. And my father was from very young age was like crazy about flying on a planes.
Okay.
And he was of one of pioneers of gliding sport in Lithuania. So just recently I saw his photographs. So he's like from 16 years old, already was with this very old style gliders which are flying from hills.
Yeah.
And later he organized and he was a chief of one sport club, gliding club, which is exist until now. And yes, my mother was a sport teacher, and also she danced in a ballet theater. And what else?
What do you know about them? As in, what do you know about your father's childhood, for example? And what was his father doing? You have any idea?
Yeah, my father, who was deported to Gulag.
Your grandfather?
My father's father, my grandfather, yes.
Yeah.
He was...
This must have been in the 1940s, somewhere.
Yeah. He was mayor of one Lithuanian small city, because Soviets, all intelligence, all people who were educated, who had some property, and otherwise people who has what to eat, all they were deported to Gulag. The idea was to destroy intellectual heritage. So
it was it similar to what happened with the Jews in Germany? I mean,
yeah, I can say this, yes, because in all now in some Lithuanian politics try to that Russians occupation would be conformed as a
yeah. Okay, please.
As a Jewish. How it was word, I forgot.
Okay. That's. I get the word. It's just when you want to think of words, you don't get those words actually. Oh my God. Okay, let's get on with. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
This
so
concentration camps in.
Some politicians try to seek in a world court some formal level of officials that this Soviet occupation was confirmed as the same as Germans did for
The Jews.
Jewish, yes.
Okay. So your grandfather was a mayor of a small city.
Of Radviliškis, yes.
Of a small city, and he was just picked up one day and.
Yes, so because he was blamed that he helped for Germans.
Okay.
And they came.
Because he helped the Germans.
No, he didn't help, but he was blamed by Soviets that he helped Germans.
But the Soviets were not part of the Allies. The Soviets were and the Germans were together, right, in the World War.
Yeah, later we knew that together, but when they entered, but after or before they were separately.
Okay, I think my history is really.
Yeah. So they blamed my grandfather that he helped Germans, or that he did something. I don't know.
Maybe he helped the Americans. I think that would be.
No, Americans were later, much later.
Okay, so this was in this was in what year, according to you?
When it was, I think, 1942 or 1943.
Okay. This was World War II, around the time that World War II ended.
Yeah, and they took him and brought to Gulag in Kazakhstan. And my father in that time was maybe 16 years old, and he has brother 15 years old. So they left, and they didn't. After some, they didn't know about him nothing, and later they get some information from Soviets where he is, and I know that there was left for his period to be in that prison until he became independent 1 year, but he passed away in that prison, my grandfather.
How many years was he in prison?
Maybe 10 years, because he was, I think they got that he passed away in the middle of 50s.
Oh my God. And were family allowed to visit him in prison?
Absolutely not. They didn't know
Where he was.
Yeah, and you know what? They also, it was like silence. Nobody can talk between each other because career, for example, the possibility to get a good job, to education for such kids whose family are in a gulag is like you matched. It's so yes, so that. It is, and
so from being a family which was very influential, what did it? And once your grandfather was arrested, so what happened with the family? I mean, they must have passed through a lot of difficulty.
Yeah, but you know what it is, and now when I'm talking with my generation, nobody in that time, nobody share about their emotional state. It was like closed. You need to be in silence. And my father and my later, when we already we born and they grow up, nobody talk about how they felt. It was clear that only I know that he went, because he was little older than his brother, so he went and tried to walk and help for mother. And he my father. Then he became a student of engineering in university, and in this same time, like parallel, he always was in that sport, gliding sport. So, but my father was very, I don't know, I'm like a very special person because and also in that time, if you want to be in very good position in your life, like with food and with good yes, so you need to belong to communistic party.
Right.
So only communistic party people can have
education.
And not education, but you can have good place with good salary, some special things. Because was not very much in shops, So, but my father, he first of all, he was so brave and refused this possibility to go to that political party, to communistic party, and he was very. He has some abilities, personal abilities to be very diplomatic and friendship with very different people, and he has friends with a very high Russian soldiers, very big position soldiers, which because he always was in that gliding sport, and later it was possibility to organize this plane airport. So and this field also was connected with army in that time. It was when you have airport. So it means that this is a strategic space, and if the country change the situation change, So this space immediately became like strategic army space. So because of that, airport which my father founded always was connected with soldiers, with Russian soldiers.
Okay, because they used to come and go from
and
the airport.
they was like it was in their map that this is a space where they can use if situation will come. So, but what I want to say that he has some ability to be friend with these people who are very formal and political and connected with army. So yes, and he finally, being free from political communistic party, he reached a very good position. He was head of such strategic airport. It was so strange and very unusual when you know that he not belonged to any communistic party. So that is, I'm very proud of that, because that circumstances was where that he was pushed to belong to political
party,
but he stay independently and was respectful. So, and what I also yes, and what you want to ask, Mom?
No, no. What I find really amazing and strange is also that your grandfather was someone who was arrested for, being against the Communist Party, and your father, he found his way and survived and got an education, got a career by pretending to be a part of the Communist Party.
No, he was not pretended.
He was not pretending.
Absolutely not.
He was very clear he is not a part of the Communist
Party. No. I'm just want to say that because his position in airport and in his activities always was connected with he must communicate, talk, had like conversations. So he talk as he have. I want to say that he has no conflicts with these people who belong to
the Communist Party.
Yes.
But he was never officially a part of the Communist Party.
Absolutely not.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And to still have a career.
Yeah. And my mother the same.
Blessed are the curious, for they shall have adventures. Extreme Outdoors, founded by Yong Lee and Vikram Kaul, bring to you the finest quality RVs in the country. An RV for every need, every kind of travel, and all kinds of families. Check out our range of RVs like the Little Guy Max, Little Guy Micro Max, Little Guy Mini Max, and MyPod. Adventure awaits. What are you waiting for? Visit our website golittleguy.com for more details.
They were not belong, and this was very. It was not in Lithuania that all belonged to Communistic Party, but it was very clear. If you want calm life with very special good food, which is not always you can find in the shops, and also if you want to have a good job, like. So it's clear that you need to go to Communistic Party. But not all people belong to Communist Party. So my parents not belong, and we I'm from my very early childhood. I also know my parents always talk for me, say for me what Lithuania is occupied. That we remember how it was independent. We will remember our childhood in the independency. So from very early years, I knew that we live in occupied country, and I was also in my heart was very be patriotic and what else? And I want to say that such. Time like Easter time or Christmas time, so it was also like religious events, and Soviet Union was atheistic, so it was not officially allowed to go to church.
Yes, and Lithuania is a Catholic country, I mean, finally.
Yes, so but it was not in Soviet time. It was not official. We celebrate Christmas in rooms with closed curtains that nobody can see from
Oh my
outside
God. Oh, wow.
what we celebrate.
Oh, wow. Because people could complain.
Absolutely, it was lot of spy of KGB everywhere, and I am studying in art academy. So especially art in Soviet times was very political orientated, and because of all this shade of political orientated art, so basically all good art was underground. And it was very good art because
Yes.
it was metaphorical. It
Right.
was metaphorical
Absolutely,
language.
absolutely.
So people for example, you are going to the theater, and you can see some historical topic about some medieval kingdom, and the words is only metaphors. So, and always in such situations, each KGB spies sit and listen what is showing on the stage, how people react. And many times such people, of course, they found something strange about Lithuania, some patriotism. So then they go to that artist and ask, what you're writing, how please delete this line, that word. So then he says, you not understand, this is not like about that. He said this is, so they pretend to be some foolish, and because it's always like double, triple meanings.
Layers, yeah.
And because of that, when I remember these times, so it was very strong art. Because of this, and I understand that art need to be have some limitation to become good, because when you have everything freedom, so art also became such I don't know, difficult to say. But I remember that this limitation, which was not allowed everything in art, so made art in my country very strong, and also that official art was very political orientated. And studied in art academy. So we knew which our colleague in a group was spy.
Oh, you knew that?
Yes. So
How?
we try. I don't know. People just say we know that you be careful, not talk near him anything, because he can go and
Tell the KGB.
Yeah. So it's like in because art academy is like a place where young artists are growing. So it was very also they tried to influence the mind of young artists.
But it is true that most art, I think, prospers under adversity. It's under difficult situations. That's what is always said about art. Like when I was in Europe, they always said oh, there's no problem in this in certain countries in Europe, so their art is dying.
Exactly, I agree. Because now what
like Switzerland, for example, I mean, that's what they say, that okay, that there's art is dying in Switzerland because it's a nice, prosperous country. Everything is pretty nice, or I mean, it's I don't know how. I mean, if it is, what are your views on this?
Absolutely, what I want to say now. Now when I'm in India, I think that here should be very strong art, because it's a very so different. Situations in society you can feel very controversials, and so that is gives for art people think and create. And we also was very good paintings and artists, and theater was just like the theater always was like we know that theater is a space where we can hear metaphors. So
Yes.
exactly in Soviet time,
Yes.
I hear that pure metaphors in Lithuania.
That's very true, because what I think it also compares very well with the Indian struggle for independence from the British, and all art before that, all theatre and everything, and people the freedom fighters used to go from village to village carrying the message through metaphors. Because you cannot actually go and say that, oh, hell with the British. You can't say that.
Yeah.
So you stage a play, and you stage a play where there is a rebellion within that play, but there are no British people. There are just other people, and, and you're trying to say something else. But what you mean is it's a struggle against the British. I think this is exactly what happened even in India, and and it was a part of the freedom struggle. Those stories were a part of the freedom struggle, exactly like how there were plays happening, and those plays were not really, they were all metaphors. The lines were all metaphorical. They were not really meant to, they were just like what you're saying is that somebody comes and asks you, okay, but this is you should delete this line. So, but the line is very simple. It just says something about probably the Gauls or the Romans, or it has nothing to do with the Russians and the KGB. So that is, and you keep on mentioning Gulag. Where exactly was Gulag, and what was it? Like, it was a concentration camp?
It was Gulag is a like concentration camp, and also place where they use these prisoners as a not cheap but just free walking labor. And it was in the Siberia. One place was in Siberia.
Oh, this was in Siberia.
It's a different places. One place was in Siberia. My grandfather was in Kazakhstan, and in that places they are working very hard, such hard that they, because of such very like abnormal hard labor, many people just died. So
Siberia was a very hard place anyway. I mean, it's oh my God. And did your father ever try to find his father? I mean, was that struggle always on? Because they didn't know where he was, right? For a long time.
They didn't know. They only informed him to family when he passed away. And after independence, we went to that place. Me, my father's brother, and my cousin brother. We went with train to Kazakhstan, to that place where this prison was, where he passed away, and we saw all these buildings. So we took the small piece of soul from that place and bring to Lithuania and put in his
like the
family.
Ashes, like these were the ashes of your grandfather.
Yeah.
Oh my God! But you never really saw him again. Nobody saw him again after that day. He disappeared. Nobody ever saw him.
No.
Oh my God! And even after he passed away, you were not allowed to visit there. You went after you gained independence.
But it was I was not on this earth yet. It was
but your father. What does your father say?
They were not. I don't know. I think it was not allowed. Only when Soviet Union crashed, we can go there. And also they looked on us very strange with suspicion. Why we came here? We made photographs and everything in that place. And yes.
But was this Gulag a part of Lithuania, or was it a part of Russia?
Absolutely not in Lithuania.
So you went all the way to Russia later?
Yeah, in the far, I don't know, 1,000 kilometers. It's not Lithuania, it's like...
because see, it's difficult for us to understand the geography, so I'm just trying...
So do you remember, you imagine Baltic Sea. Around Baltic Sea, from European part is Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia. And you go to the east there was Russia, and when Russia is a big country.
Right.
After in the end of Russia is a Kazakhstan. So so he was there somewhere in
It crossed all over Russia
Yeah,
from, oh my
yeah.
God. There's also Poland on one side, if I'm not mistaken.
Poland is to the west, to European side.
Because Lithuania also shares a border with Poland.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was something for you to go there. What is your memory when you went there? Did you feel, what was it that you were going
It was
through?
very hot. I remember it was very hot, and some fleas bited me, and I'm swallowed. I remember. Yes, and it was very uncozy, and
Was your father emotional when he went there, or
I
was
not
it-
remember. I think they already he passed the life. Of course, they were emotional. They took they pray. They took their soul. It was everything was sensitive for them, and we also saw that big field, just field where all these people were dug.
buried?
Yes, without
So fields
any
of dead people who had
without any sign.
without any sign of family.
No.
What a way to die,
Yeah.
Particularly when you have family.
Yeah.
And this is happening after the World War. I mean, it's not like after the World War, actually a lot of countries became free because the Britain could not afford them after the World War. And the exact opposite happened with countries like Lithuania, which is, I never knew this part of history.
And
I read
Latvia
it.
and Estonia,
And Latvia and Estonia.
the same.
Yeah.
And Finland in that time became independent. No, they announced Finland.
Yeah.
In that I think in the same.
Russians occupied
Yeah.
when Finland became independent.
So Lenin, it was some situation that because of Lenin, some announcement, Finland became independent from Sweden, because before 40s, Finland not exist also. So that we are talking now about this time. About 1940s, how one country announced independence, also India.
Yes, 1947.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at that time, a country goes under siege, which is like what is happening in Ukraine today. It is impossible for people to imagine this, say, 5 years back, that something like this would happen in a country.
It's just, Lithuanian politics, and we all, because of our history with Russia, we were we always felt this like we are unsafe, and all the world called Lithuanian politics like you are neurotic, too much sensitive to Russia, and now all the world see what we were. We
But you were right.
Yeah, we were right, because what they're doing now. So it's unbelievable.
No, it's one thing for me that the Ukrainians are dying, but even a lot of Russians are dying. And I don't know whether in this new world, it's a very strange thing that I feel like I had this conversation with somebody and they were talking about violence in the world. But what people don't realize is that this is like the last 30, 40 years have been the safest in the history of the world. Less people have died due to violence in the last 30, 40 years than, say, far before that. Like in the medieval times and in the 1400s and the 50s, there were wars and kingdoms were taking over each other. And people were always dying in wars and plagues and famines. And so we are actually the safest right now. There is far less violence now than it was, say, 100 years ago. And somehow people don't get this context. People take it from the context of, like someone was talking about violence in cinema. And I said, cinema didn't exist 75 years back. It was never so popular. And yet people were dying and people were fighting between themselves. And 200 years back, people were killing each other. And nobody seems to understand the simple maths and just plain numbers and statistics of how it is. That is what it is. Tell me a little about your grandmother. Do you know anything about her?
About which grandmother?
Your grandfather who was taken away.
My grandmother, yes. My grandmother.
From your father's side.
Okay, so she was from noble family. We had, because in Lithuania we have such old families who has their own like sign, like I don't know how it's in English. It's in we call this herbas. Emblem, yes.
Okay.
So she was from such old family from with emblem and.
Wow. So you're royalty, huh, Audrone?
It's not like king. It's in Lithuania we haven't like kings families, but it's like more higher, like not dukes, but little less like dukes. So yes, we it's my like grandmother, and so she is from that, and in that family was also such families in Lithuania usually talk in Polish language, and this is very also strange. I don't know why, but now I have maybe some idea that because Lithuanians, as I said, it was the last pagans in Europe, and Poland was very Christian country, and Christianity also brought some. Not only religion, but also some education. And it was feeling and understanding that to speak in Polish language was like more aristocratic. And so all these families, these more noble families, tried to speak in Polish language. So,
but were they close to the Polish border? I mean,
Lithuania, yes.
No. Your mother's family, were they living close to the Polish border?
No. It's not. It's not connected with the border. It is connected with like ethic, tradition, and
Right.
understanding what is good, what is like.
What makes you stand out?
What aristocracy, more educated, more. Yeah, so from my grandmother's family, they spoken Polish in Poland, in Polish language. But I'm thinking, I didn't know that there was some Polish person. I didn't know really, but her relatives lives in Poland, my grandmother's. And what she was very good cook. She cooked very, very tasty cakes, and when we tried to visit her when I was in school, and like 10 years old, my brother 9 years old, my sister 8 years older, and father and with his small car, and mother we try, because we always live in Vilnius, and she lives my grandmother 100 kilometers from Vilnius in Kaunas, another city. So we try to visit her each weekend, and she always wait us with cakes. And
that's your memory, your childhood memory.
And she always ask and expect us girls to come with very ordered nice hairs, yes.
Dressed up well.
Yeah, dressed up well.
Like ladies, I mean, what you would call, as a cliche, like a lady. Yeah, I mean, but how did she cope with her husband being taken away?
So, now we think about this, and now we like try to empathically understand, but nobody talk about this. It was I don't know, for us children, nobody talk about how they felt, how was difficult for them, and I know that in all families was the same. And but how, because now I'm walking and communicating with people, with adult people, my generation, and older and little bit younger. So in art therapy field, so they like express themselves, and they naturally remember their childhood. So they, not only in my family, not everywhere in Lithuania, it was like prohibited to talk about difficulties, because this happened almost in each family. Almost in each family was people, parent, father, grandfather, mother, were, or all full family deported to this prison. And it was like a huge suffer, huge pain, huge trauma, and now psychologists are doing this research about how this trauma affect later generations when you can't talk, like this trauma was like but what I want to say, that this, when you can't share about your feeling, so it's also, but it affect your behavior. So behavior was like also like not sometimes very rude with their children, or not very sensitive. So this generation of my friends or older, they very common features in the families, that parents not talk, not share about their feelings. It's like prohibited to talk about these traumas. And then they also...
And then they bring up the children the same way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And also a lot of alcoholic cases.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So this would be a certain thing in how communism works, maybe, because I don't have a view on communism, or I won't talk about it, but I'm saying that where people are not allowed to express what they feel, and since they're not allowed to express what they feel, they bring up the children the same way,
yes,
where the children are not allowed to express what they feel. And then you feel like it's always said that Russians are very cold. It's a general belief. I don't know how true or false that is. But because the whole system is like that, where people are not allowed to express, so I think the warmth which you give, or which makes you more humane, is just missing, and that gets translated from generation to generation, because you're not allowed to express your views, you're not allowed to express your emotions, you're not allowed to laugh freely, or make a political joke, or cry freely. And I think that
because of that, when I start after independence, this all these fields like psychotherapy, psychology, and I am from art therapy, was like very, very fast found the place in Lithuania, just because of what you said now, was because it's very, in the society was felt very big demand, because this all fields are create a space for sharing about, reflecting who I am, what I feel, and all about this, experience from childhood. So now is of course, now this all is happening in my country, and
so now there are these groups which meet, and then they share their pain, so they understand that.
No, it's just like a service, because before, after independence, this new service.
Your profession, which is art therapy, is a part of that.
So this service is found very strong and place and demand in my country after this long occupation period.
Oh my God. It's it's difficult. I'm talking with you, and that is when
I'm sorry.
No. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to understand things like this, because I wouldn't imagine something like this at all. That this would be the unseen effect of something like that. That it's an intangible effect, which one doesn't see. Like, for example, I have always heard this, and I'm not sure whether it's true, because I believe all humans are emotional. But I've always heard people say that, oh no, the Europeans are not very emotional, the Germans are not very emotional, or the Russians are not very emotional. I've heard this. It's a cliche, or maybe it's not. But it maybe comes from the system, the system that the country is governed by. also, like in your case, in your country, you're not like your grandfather got taken away, but your grandmother couldn't express it to anybody.
For us children, we didn't hear. I don't know for whom she expressed, but not for us.
No, but she couldn't express it publicly. She couldn't go to the cops and ask, "Where is my husband?" I mean,
So everybody was very scared.
yes. So that obviously she must have also brought up her children, telling them, "Don't ask too many
Yeah,
questions.
yeah, yeah.
Don't express yourself."
Exactly. It was
So-
like my parents talked to me and told me all the history and this of our country, but they say always remind me not talk this what we telling you with your classmates. You just not safe on anybody because we will get some
The KGB coming.
yeah.
So what I wanted to ask you was, Audrone, is that do you remember the day and the time and where were you and what was happening when your country became independent in 1990? What was it that you were doing?
Yes, I remember that I was in my flat at home with some friends, and I think we watched TV because in that time, in that moment, in that parliament of Lithuania was happened voting.
Yes.
And but I want to say that the content of the past days and weeks was like all it was like everybody, each whom I know and met in a city, it was like everybody was like above of the basement. Was like so big excitement about it. Was my parents all I was like when how it was maybe now 90, so now it's 40 years before. Yes,
Right. 32.
32, no, 40.
Yes, 32 years before, because it's 22 now.
Yeah.
And 1990.
Yeah.
So 22, 90 plus 10 is 2022.
Yeah. So
32 years.
then all people was like, it's that feeling is it's just I can say that
You can't express it.
can't express
in
because
words.
it's like a very big excitement, and people who are my parents' age, so they was so very sensitive. They like because many people were waiting all life, and it was unbelievable. And this all the world announced one after another. America, other world, they start from TV congratulate and yes, so was absolutely all country were excited and happy and congratulate each other. And it is to experience these moments with your nation together. That is like the reason to be in such a dictator country, just because to have this experience what's happening when the country finally reached the independence. It's something like relieving and absolutely
It went
unified.
mad.
All people were unified in that feeling. It's so any separation, any political parties, everybody were like happy and celebrate and congratulate each other. It was fantastic. Only later, start again parties and discussions, but in that moment, and so I feel that what I can say about this experience, that it gives me understanding and that everything is possible when you want, when you have idea, when you are going to this idea step by step, and when you believe, so finally it's happening. So I was like witness of such a moment. Not I'm alone, but all my people. It was very, very special, and we happy that they not. They after I not I remember, but the reaction of Moscow was that after I don't remember, a few days or some week, they stop gas. They sent to us some army, and then I think 10 people died because of this attack. But relatively it was small. This reaction from Moscow. So yes, this is a very, very special moments. Difficult for me to understand, but not understand, but to express in a words. But the feeling is that you are happy with your nation. That is a.
You're free. I mean, that's the.
Yeah.
You're free. I mean, I don't think it can be expressed at all.
And also, you know what is now when we're observing situation in Belarus last year, now in Ukraine, and I remember when how it was in Lithuania. So the moment when army and policemen stop belong to government, it means that the revolution happened. So it happened in Lithuania. All army, Soviet Lithuania, and all policemen just went away from government, and that is a moment when you became independent from government.
Like exactly what used to happen in India. What is said is that there were only 5,000 Britishers in India at any point in time. So the rest of the people who were actually controlling the country were actually Indians. You know, I mean, so these were Indians who had their internal squabbles with, say, a different king, with somebody else. The police was full of Indians.
Yeah.
And the Indians were the ones who were actually controlling the Indians, because the Britishers were only 5,000, maybe 10,000 at the most. And yet they were controlling the country. So I think it's what you're saying is so, it resonates with me even with the way what happened in India in, say, before 1947. So let's come to your father. You said was interested in gliding and flying, which is like a very strange.
It's not. He is not interesting. He was sportsman. He made a high record. It is in English, record.
Record, yeah.
Yeah. So he in Soviet time he made a record of highness.
Of flying with gliders.
Flying with gliders. He reached such a high point where his wings start covered by ice.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So now gliders in such distance going with oxygen
Mask.
and that time
Yes.
he reached this without oxygen.
Do you know the record and how many feet above sea level?
No, I need to check. I not remember now.
Oh God, because the oxygen levels are really low. That it's very thin air, rarefied air. Wow.
So he not interested. He was all his passion was in gliding.
How did he get interested? How did it start? Do you know?
It's joke. Yes, it is about his childhood. There are jokes how he loved from early years this sport. So he was he climbed to when he was around 6 or 7 years old. He climbed on the roof of his house.
Oh my God!
And he decided to jump down and imagine that he is with parachute. But of course, that house was not very far, maybe one floor. So
yes, but
in the below was this bush of that berries.
Okay.
Berries with which
thorns.
Yes. So he jumped down and scratched his legs and ass, and so it is a joke from his childhood how he
So
loved flight.
oh my God! So he was just interested in flying from the time he was a kid.
Yes, yes.
And how did he navigate and get to this point where he made a record? I mean, how did that happen?
So he did a record when he already was the chief of that airport in Soviet times. So I think I already mentioned about him.
No. But how did he reach there? As in, from that point where he fell in the bushes and he hurt himself badly,
Yeah.
to achieving the record. What was that journey from here to actually achieving that record?
Yeah, so I think I said already that he from teenage.
No, I mean, who introduced him to the sport? I mean, any idea? And
No, I think he met because they live near the sea in that city, Klaipėda, and near Klaipėda was these activities from of the first gliding sportsmen. They glided from dunes in that time. Now, when you want to fly with glider, you need to that your glider will take up some small plane.
hill, yeah.
But in that time, they climb with glider on some dune hill, and they just go down. So he met these people and these pioneers of Lithuania in this gliding sport, and he belonged to them and attend and train himself in that activities. And later when he became engineer, and was possibility for him to coordinate and to establish this airport of gliding sport. So that my all childhood I spent from my small days in that airport. We had a summer house, yes, because he organized. He was a chief, and that airport was just surrounded by forest and beautiful lake. So this people who was like administrators. So my father was a chief, and other people. We all had a small wooden houses, summer houses. So we from very early, because Lithuania is not like India, always summer. We have spring, summer, autumn, winter. So when the autumn, when the early spring came, we immediately, all family, of course, father first, we used to go to that airport. We stay in that summer house, and my father's job was in that airport. He coordinate the flights, that all what's happening, and organize all these activities, and we just live in that nature. And so I'm until all my life we spent there.
So you grew up in that airport, actually?
Yeah, in summer times.
Okay. Wow. So it must have been some kind of an experience to grow up in and around the airport. And
yeah, what I realize now, what like influence of that airport, that I very much like the spaces, because here why I like spaces where I can see horizon.
right.
So that I later realized that this is influence of that airport, because there was a big field, and in the end of the field you can see only that very narrow line of far forest. So that landscape, it's always like now. When I want to live somewhere, or I'm choosing the place, so that is such a impression of the space of a field is important for me. It's from airports.
Wow. Oh, that's what I mean. That's what. Then you're in the right place in Bombay because this is the only place
Where you can see
the
the
horizon.
horizon. Yes.
If you are anywhere in Bombay, you are only banging into people while walking, or somebody is banging into you all the time on the streets.
Yeah, so I feel here very comfortable.
Yes, so you're in Mud Island, and I think it's a very rare thing to to have this kind of a space
We
in Bombay.
finally found.
No, lovely. I'm sure that you would have quit this country a long time back if you hadn't been staying in Mud Island. So, and what about your mother? I mean, what was her background like? Where was she from?
My mother to
What
dance.
kind of a woman was she?
I like your questions. Your questions always about personalities, not about yes, I will tell you. I will think now. I don't know. It's very difficult to talk to talk about mother from distance. Now I'm think that about father for me was more easy to talk than about mother, and maybe because that we were very connected. Like I'm not. I can't value her because how I felt her. So I know that other person from my family, they said about her that she is very strict, but I never felt her strictness. And what I felt always her support. When I was very free-minded girl, a young girl, and I always have such fixed ideas what to do, what to study, and so when I shared with her, so she always supported me.
Okay.
So in some very sensitive situations, she always gave me support. What else?
What part did she grow up in? I mean,
in the middle of Lithuania.
Lovely.
She grew up. Her father passed away when she was very young. I think 4 years old. She and her sister, with her. They were agreed to get married, but her sister. So, but before when Lithuania already know that it was like a risk that Soviet Union will occupy Lithuania. So many Lithuanians emigrated to U.S. So this my mother's sister emigrated when she was 19 to US. So mother left with her mother here in Lithuania, and I don't know. She loves dance. She went to ballet school. She also participated in some musical theater. She danced. Then she went to pedagogical university to learn to become sport teacher. So she was sport teacher. All her life she was sport teacher, and also she lead the group of gymnastic sport.
Wow.
Yes, I also participated in the gymnastic sport. She took me to train me to become more flexible.
So were you flexible? Did you learn anything?
Now my yoga teacher said that I'm flexible.
By Indian standards.
Yeah.
Are you flexible by Lithuanian standards?
Nobody told me, but now I hear that. But I'm flexible. Maybe it's because I sometimes many years I went to
Gymnastics school. So how long were you in gymnastics school?
Maybe 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
4 years?
But this is from 10 years old, when I was 10, until teenage.
Wow. No, but 4 years is a long time if you're training.
Yeah, but this is like she was there, so I was with her.
Yeah, but you will learn something in 4 years. Yeah. And I think gymnastic, becoming a gymnast is a discipline. I mean, it takes a
Yeah.
certain kind of.
So, but you know, when you are going with the place where your mother walked, it's not like with me. It was not like with the other kids. I was daughter, so it was special.
Privileged.
Yeah, not so strict.
So what?
She was very much coffee. She drank coffee. I also now like coffee very much. Also, she very interested in Lithuanian history. She talk to us about all kings and dukes. She loves people but what people, but for me it's strange what I'm talking now, but the feeling is like my friends and other people say about her what I didn't felt about her. She was not I have not felt that she was strict, but other people said that she was
strict.
Also, you know what? She also very much liked to nicely dress up. Until the end of her life, she always tried to be with makeup, with lipstick, with earrings, with yes. So that is.
She liked to look beautiful when she went out.
Yes.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
And did it rub up on you when you were growing up? Did you rebel against that, or did you also try to be like a girl? I mean, like in the cliched sense of how one would be. How were you? I mean,
I think yes, I was like I fighted with my parents because of my independence, but. I think not too much, but
but everybody fights with their parents and their teenage years. It's common.
Yeah.
So that's I think there's nothing that's a very common thing all over the world.
We need to do this as a kids.
Yeah, it's a part of the process.
Yeah.
It's a part. Now, because what has always fascinated me about ballet is that there are women who can just stand on the tip of their toes.
Yeah.
Your mother could do that.
I didn't saw, but I only saw that her old photographs from that time when because when I already was on this earth, she was not in that ballet already. She was a sport teacher in that time, from all my life. But I saw these old photographs from that time when she was a dancer. So it's just.
Marvelous.
Wow. With in some costumes, in some role of French fish, some marine. Shirt and cap.
Maroon.
Yeah.
Maroon color, right?
No. This from sea.
Right.
These
Okay.
lines.
Yes, I got it. Yeah. The you mean the off shoulder?
No, this in French, when you see this French sea soldiers, they wear this with blue lines.
Okay, it's a kind of dress.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she maybe had some role in the theater. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I hope you enjoyed part 1 of my conversation with painter and art therapist Audrone Brazauskaite. If you wish to contact Audrone for an online art therapy session or maybe to check out or buy her paintings, you can send her a WhatsApp message on her Lithuanian number +370 652 92081. The 370 is the country code, so let me repeat this for you. The number is +370 652 92081. You can also email her at a.brazauskaite@gmail.com. Let me spell this: a.brazauskaite@gmail.com. I publish the second part of this lovely conversation on Friday next week. And here is my film reco. Since we hosted a guest from the country of Lithuania today, I'll recommend a Lithuanian film. The original title of the Lithuanian film I recommend today, and I hope I pronounce it right, is Piktuju Karta. The English title of the film is The Generation of Evil, written by Jonas Banis and co-written and directed by Emilis Velevis. The Generation of Evil is an investigative thriller which revolves around a mayoral election and the death of a district attorney. Two different detectives are forced into a joint investigation as their egos and worldviews clash with each other. Piktuju Karta, or The Generation of Evil, rates a wise 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb. Do watch if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter by following my Twitter handle Atul Taishete, spelled as ATULTAISHETE. Also, do visit my website Conversations, that is Conversations plural with an S. The complete website address is conversationswithatul.com. In the second and final part of my conversation with Audrone Brazauskaite, we conversed about how she was named after a boat her parents dated in, how her father surprised her by flying down and waving from a plane at an art camp, and what it means to migrate to a foreign country for love. Audrone conversed passionately about how her profession as an art therapist helped her personally by becoming less judgmental and more humane, and also pushed her further as an artist from someone who largely drew landscapes to painting more abstract forms. So please welcome painter and art therapist Audrone Brazauskaite, a woman who as a child was in a tearing hurry to become an adult and who, surprise, surprise, closed this lovely conversation by singing two beautiful Lithuanian songs for us. Hi, I'm Atul Taishete and welcome to my podcast, Conversations with Atul. You remember your parents very kindly, I understand. You remember them as being very supportive and very nice to you, and
very supportive. They because all my from teenager to always I painted. I went to art school before art academy. We have in Lithuania like tradition, not art academy but school like college before academy. So I went to that art school. After that art school, I went to art academy. So in all this time, when you are painting or drawing, you always need like stuff, paints, like canvases, big sheets of paper. Always you need to carry somewhere. So my father always, helped me. He put this things, stuff to his car and help me. But I can share very interesting and special and funny.
It's an expensive hobby. It's a very expensive. Yeah. It's an expensive hobby too,
Yeah, but I will share very specific and very funny episode from my life and my parents' life. So when I went to that art college, it's not like college. It is additional school, which is I'm attended normal school like undergraduate, but I went to art school additionally. So in that art school also organized summer camps.
Right.
So in that summer camps we used to go with all the stuff, paints and canvases somewhere in the beautiful nature, and we painted, and we stayed there around 2 weeks, and the parents very often, not often and not to each kid, but for some they come visit us to bring food. Everybody wait the parents with food and everything. So my parents always travel with plane because my father is this pilot.
So he had his own. He could go fly in his own plane.
No, he was head of this airport, so
right.
he can take as a car plane.
Small plane.
Yeah. So once we are like 12 years old kids. We are painting somewhere in a beautiful countryside of Lithuania, landscapes. I'm painting, and I'm just looking up, and I'm see the small plane is flying above, and many kids around, you know,
Looking up.
looking, and my father used to fly more down, and just above our heads he wave with do this movement. And all kids like, oh wow, it's your father. And he found the place somewhere in a field very, very close. He left the plane and came with a big bags full of food. My father. So it was like, wow, Audrone's parents came with food on plane. And we also went to the seaside with plane, and Lithuanians all love to go for mushrooms, to pick mushrooms in the forest.
Okay.
So also father took us on plane in a very
pick mushrooms?
No, he took us in some very good place. Then he found some field near the forest, and then we went to forest for mushrooms.
But all this you're telling me, it reminds me of Asterix and Obelix. You know, I don't know why. This collecting mushrooms and it gives me a very Gaulish view of.
It's pagan.
Yeah, I mean it's really amazing.
Lithuanians are crazy about mushrooms. It's like all Lithuanians are going in autumn to forest to pick mushrooms. Then they prepare for winter in marinade and different ways. Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. So, just tell me now. Let's come to you. You know, and because how was your childhood? What do you remember about your childhood? I mean, that you grew up in an airport, of course. But what do you remember? Which school you went to, and what were your friends like? And you know, what do you remember? And how did you get interested in painting? What was your childhood like? Was there an artist in your family, your dad or your mom, who liked to paint? Your mom was an artist, of course, because she liked to. Even your father was an artist because he was.
But
black.
my father liked to draw, and now we found his notebooks, all notebooks, so full of notebooks where was with beautiful small drawings with colored pencils. So he loved to draw very sentimental landscapes with some bird and tree and lake. My
really?
father's, yes, very beautiful. And yes, I have.
There's one thing which I would really like to know, and it would be fun to know, is that what was your parents' love story? How did they get together? I mean, what was do you have any idea of that?
Yes, I know. They say that there was in that time they live in Kaunas, not in Vilnius, in that 100 kilometers from Vilnius, in other big city. And they walk in one place. He was a trainer for kids to make plane models, my father.
Right.
And my mother taught girls for gymnastics.
Oh, in the same university.
No, not university. They not went to training, but they were as a teachers in such like
a camp.
Not camp, but it's a place where kids can come and get different activities after school.
Okay.
So in such place with different activities, my father led that plane model group. He showed for kids how to construct from wood to stick, all this models of plane, and my mother work on gymnastic group, and they met each other, and he first they said that my father saw my mother and start think how to make friendship and how to keep in contact. So he also they also like very much in that they had friends. They love to spend time by with boats on the river. So some friend suggest to my father invite my mother, and they organize some excursion with boats on the river. Then so it was like beginning. We have this old photographs where they sit together in some boat, and lot of lotus put on that boat, and the name of that boat was Audrone. And then they said,
really?
Yeah, and they say, well, this is you see this from this boat is your name. It was
my God. So, no, it must have been from that boat. I mean, your parents must have told you that we named you after this boat, that where we met.
Yes, they said. But my sister was, she born 7 years before me.
Okay.
So, yes.
So, what's your sister's name?
Jurate, it is sea. It means sea.
Yeah, so they first named the sea, and then they named the boat the sea was in. The sea, the boat on the sea. I mean, so that seems to be. And you have other children? They had other children, or it's just two of you?
Oh, I have brother, 1 year younger brother. And the brother's name is Darius. And Darius is, it's a name because of we had very heroes, Lithuanian 2 pilots, Darius and Girenas, which I think in the beginning of Second World War, but war was not started yet, officially, or maybe somewhere. But they decided to fly it from New York. They made a plane, these pilots.
They made a plane.
They made a plane in 40, so 79 or 78, something like that. So they made a plane, and they decided to fly it through New York to Kaunas, to that via ocean.
Yeah.
So and they already were almost reached Lithuania. And nobody really, so it was Darius, 2 pilots, and Girenas. So all people in Lithuania already was full of airport and waited with flowers, and with first time was this. I think maybe in Europe maybe it was somebody did some similar, but not a lot. So and finally they not reached, and they are not very clear if the plane itself went to some storm, or German army shot it from Poland.
Oh.
So they already was on the land of Europe, and so it was big tragedy. So because of that, my brother's name is Darius.
Oh my
because
God.
of that pilot.
And what does Darius mean?
Darius is not Lithuanian name. It's a Roman name, I think. Darius. It was some King Darius in Rome.
Because there's always an Indian name. I think Parsis or somebody has a Darius.
Yeah.
They call it Darius. That's how it's pronounced here. It's spelled here. I mean, I know somebody who's named like that, Darius.
So maybe it's not Lithuanian. Maybe some other roots, but because of that pilot.
Yeah. So because the Parsis I think come from Iran, and so I don't know where it's, but I think it's a Parsi name if I'm not mistaken. So wow. So now let's get to your childhood that you were talking about. So what was it like? It was a happy childhood, or it was a conflicted childhood and there was all these other things happening around you. which were also.
So now you want that all of my secret things I will share on your.
No,
on-
no, it's up to you. Okay, it's up to you. Look, I look at my podcast. It's for me, it's a documentary on a person. It's an audio documentary, and it's up to you. You share what you want. Or
Yeah,
you
so
don't.
if it is was good childhood or bad childhood, now I can I am result who I am now. So I think it was good childhood and everything what I but all psychotherapists when a person come to psychotherapy and psychotherapist ask so tell me about your childhood, about your story, and that client say, oh, my childhood was very good and my parents are very good. So it's a sign that of course they are hiding something because it's a life. It's not like very good or very bad. I'm very happy that I'm not my childhood was not in some war place.
Right.
I live in a peace. Of course, I live in very strange Soviet Lithuanian country. But now, when I'm telling you all experiences, I can say you that this is I'm rich of this experience. No, not everybody can witness how a country became independence, and not everybody have experience how then you can be scared of somebody here, what you will say, and we need to hide something. So it's a very different experience, and now I can tell that it is like a treasure what I have.
Right. Like my personal philosophy of how we understand, if somebody asks me that, okay, you are this age and are you happy or you're not, or could things have been different? I have a very simple way of understanding this, is that everything is a process. The good, the bad, everything is a process. Now, when do you decide whether something was worth it or not worth it? Is that if, for example, I'm sitting here in front of you and I'm very happy making this podcast with you, or generally I love my podcast. So I love everything that I'm doing right now. I have a film starting, I have other things happening, I have written a book. So these are things which have happened with me right now. But all these things to reach here, I may have passed through a lot of bad things, and the point is, am I happy with this? Or do I want to change this? If I don't want to change this, then all that happened before was perfect. Whether it was good, whether it was bad, doesn't matter,
Absolutely.
So
and also what I want to say that I also very much like to be adult. I didn't want to be young because I also very much like the age when you can reflect of past, when you can
right.
I don't know, to use your experience and to try to use experience, because not very easy to try your lessons of life. So I like this. I remember myself when I was 19, 20, and it's like it's like absolutely without thinking I remember myself. Only very lot of spontaneity, and so also I'm happy very much where I am now and what I'm doing. I'm doing everything what I love to do. I'm painting. I'm teach young people. I teach what I love, the subject what I love, and. Yes, I am surrounding people who love me, and I love them. So it's a beautiful place.
So anything and everything that happened before it was important for you to reach this place.
Yes.
So that's how and you understand it already. I mean, so there is no regrets about whatever that might have happened. So how was your childhood like, as in who were your friends, and what do you remember your friends then? I mean,
Of course, remember, and we and classmates. They also, when after it's like now people live very like mobile. They're traveling. So many of my friends and classmates are living already now. Not in Lithuania and in different countries of the world, but my friends with different friends. I don't know how to say in my class, in my school. Now I know that. But you asking about personalities, not about who they are. So difficult to answer you.
how was it? As in, see, I'm asking you this is also because I want to understand it from the context of my life, and how it is in India. So, what was school like for you? What was it? How was school?
School was, I know that in India there are boys' classes and girls. Never we had such. It always mixed.
In some places, not all. It's like maybe 5%, 10%. It's not really true.
I remember myself in kindergarten. I also went to kindergarten. That I always sang. It was different celebrations like. New Year and other, and kids were prepared some concert and some performance, and the parents came to see. So I remember that very often I sang song solo. So it means that maybe I had a good voice. So I remember that I sang solo song, and my friends was like. In a bag, they sang with me.
The chorus.
Yeah. Then also I remember from very early, from kindergarten.
So you used to sing in Lithuanian, the songs?
Yes.
Oh.
In Lithuanian. All kindergarten and school was in Lithuanian. But we already had classes, I think, I'm not from kindergarten, but maybe from the beginning of school. And I remember that I drove very early from kindergarten. I already remember that nuns and these teachers from kindergarten said that, she draw very beautiful. I remember such reactions. And then this, when somebody tell you for kid that you are doing well. So I try to do more because I get some like support and nice like praise, that you are draw nice. So this I remember that I got this comfortability in a drawing, in a painting from very early. And from very early age, I remember that I knew that I want to go studying in the art academy. And I had my colleagues and friends who didn't know. We graduate undergrad school and they didn't know where to go. I always knew that I will go to art academy. I have any other ideas and
no other ambition.
No.
Wow, that's a blessing. I mean, that very few people know what they want to be.
But for me, it was very clear from very childhood, from kindergarten. I knew that I will go to art academy.
And since you were drawing, and now later you have discovered that your father also used to love to draw, how was your father reacting when he saw you draw? What was this? Do you remember?
Yes, they like. I very often them may paint some landscapes and give as a gift for my mother and father. Like jubilee, they had some jubilee, so I used to come to their house with painting and. So they love, they respect, they very much was proud of me, and yes. So my parents were the mother. My mother said for me that she is proud.
Wow. That must have made you very happy because you, though you haven't said it in so many words, but I think you're very close to both your parents. I mean, very, very close to both your parents.
Yes, I also feel like that, but who knows now? So we were free. I was middle kid, and it always like some relationship between brother and sister, and who are more closer to parents. It's always fighting. Competition, yes. To whom, to which kid mothers and fathers' gaze are longer,
So you feel you were that kid?
I don't know. It's difficult to say. I remember, and I felt and I feel in my memory their big support. Everything what I did, what I decided, what all my ideas were supported, and that I have that comfortability inside. And maybe now when I'm starting something new, also feel relatively calm because of that feeling what my parents gave me, that support. So in this, I think when you ask also about childhood, I think this experience in airport and these memories and images also is as a gift for me.
Right.
I remember it's like a big freedom, also very big friendship with the people, because always there were a lot of course adults, but also kids. These people who are gliding, that also their kids. So we had always created something in nature, with nature. So this special space, I feel also like influenced me, and it is and that moments. So you can imagine how for other my friends they like jealous little to me. Like it's a like very special thing to have such the parents are coming with plane to your camp.
That's a marvelous story. Your father, you look up and your father is in a plane. Reminds me of a Hollywood film. I mean, it's coming down. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, so are your parents still there? I mean, what is?
No, my parents, it's already in heaven. My father passed 10 years before, and mother 7 years before.
Okay. And your brother and your sister are still there, right?
Yeah.
So one of them is in the US. Your sister is in the US.
Yeah.
And your brother is in Lithuania?
Yeah.
So what does he do? I mean,
He's also teach some kids in that airport.
He's still in that airport?
No, he not still. He is back after his different jobs. He finally also want to have some teaching like my father.
Right.
So he teach little kids to how to use the plane, not plane, glider.
Gliders?
Yeah.
Oh, your brother is still, I mean, he's in the gliders.
So all our family, my brother was in gliders. He was in this sport, but
Wow.
But after his career, he in some other places, he wants to teach kids how to do it.
Wow. And can you fly a glider? I mean...
No, because need to have this 100% of vision. So because I need some specs when I'm look too far. So it's not.
Okay. So you don't get the license, but as a kid and as later as a young person, you have glided, right?
So I flew with my father on a plane and on a glider. So what is not very much big pleasure for me. It was in that time.
You didn't like it?
No, because my father has some fixed idea, but we didn't. What we not need to scare of flying. So he put us to that small plane, and he decided to make us brave. And to make us brave, he did
pushed.
this. No, he not pushed, but he made this flying very very fast, up and down,
Oh my
up
God.
and down. So it was so terrible. After that, I became I'm scared fly. I'm just scared fly until very recently because of this my father's idea to make us brave.
Oh my God.
So to flying for me was was very big pleasure.
And are you close to your siblings? I mean, to your brother and your sister, or it's a?
I think yes, but now again you touch very personal topic.
No, it's okay if you don't want to answer something. It's
No,
okay.
yes. So it's yes, we communicate, but yeah.
Okay. So tell me about so you had a wonderful childhood and whatever, and you were very supportive. And how was then you went to art school when you were like 15, 17. So how was art school for you?
I went to art school not on 15, 17. I went to art school, I think, around 10, when I was 10
Oh,
or
really?
11. Yes, it was from the first. So I remember I was so fixed that I need to go to that school. It was 4 years long art school. When you yes, and in that art school it is everything like sculpture, painting, art history,
Wow.
everything. This is like a supplement. You can all kids who interested in art, they can go. So, but in that time to enter that school was you need to pass exams. And I remember when these exams went, I had fever, and I should not go, but I went with fever to these exams. So what was very old school. I remember. Now this building was took away and built new one, but I remember there's very old classes, and I need to paint some still life and some composition. I mean free composition, and I painted how doctors made operation.
Blessed are the curious, for they shall have adventures. Extreme Outdoors, founded by Yong Lee and Vikram Kaul, bring to you the finest quality RVs in the country. An RV for every need, every kind of travel, and all kinds of families. Check out our range of RVs like the Little Guy Max, Little Guy Micro Max, Little Guy Mini Max, and MyPod. Adventure awaits. What are you waiting for? Visit our website golittleguy.com for more details. Okay, that was the test.
Yes.
That how doctors are operating on a...
No, it was free theme, free topic. It was exam was one to paint still life, and other is to paint some free free
Whatever you want.
whatever I want. So I painted how doctors make operation.
And why would you do that? I mean, what was the... Because were you exposed to that kind of a...
No, it is exam. It was
Okay.
exam to enter that art school.
No, I'm asking that why did you choose doctors doing operation? What was...
I don't know. Maybe I saw somewhere
Some as a
somebody
kid.
draw, and it looks very cool for me. Like to paint lights, strong lights.
Yeah.
You know, this white costumes of doctors.
Wow. You also said that you like to paint landscapes later. Do you think that would have anything to do with the kind of space that you grew in, where you could see up to the end? You know, in the airport, where you could see up to the end. So that love for landscapes, would it have its roots in that time at the airport?
Yeah. I think I already said this. That this vision memory, which
Of that line.
that line, which
Yeah.
I remember from very early. It's like I need to have this. I also have some summer place in countryside, so I choose that place only because I can see this
Landscape.
from distance.
And what kind of landscapes were you painting? I mean, different types. What was it that you were painting earlier on?
I love very much sea horizon, then fields and I don't know, different. We haven't mountains, not mountains. So like hills, green hills.
So do a lot of that kind of painting earlier on.
Yeah.
Okay, but your art seems to have evolved to something more abstract now.
Yeah.
You know, is that the general journey of an artist? Or
Now you're asking about
the kind of paintings
how it was developed to what I'm
what you're
doing
doing
now.
now? Yeah.
Yes, it's because I think this is what I'm doing now, very much influenced by, because I'm also art therapist, because I'm I teach art therapy, and also I'm give before more and now less as a service of art therapy. So this understanding of that field, understanding of art therapy field, very much influenced me, because in art therapy, all drawings or all visual art products is connected with your unconscious. Everything and also when you are creating some visual product, you also ask that person to be in a process, here and now, and not too much think, and to be as much as you can be spontaneous. And that when you are in such a mood, you very much you can reach your side of personality, which is not controlled of ideas and thoughts, and then you can reach more inner ideas, which you not usually maybe think or maybe express. So because this process very much I'm trying to keep now this. When I'm drawing or painting, I try to be in that mood, not to think. I'm just look at the empty canvas, like white space of or paper, and I'm just want to try to feel what I want to do right now, what I want to what kind of media I want to use, and that is like a start. So it is developed very, I don't know, it's for me very often it's also surprise. Of course we can see the style. That style is maybe, it's like there are styles. It's not like each drawing is very different, but basically it's like my way now, how am I, which is leading in that my creative process. I'm not have any topic or idea from beginning or in advance. I'm just trying to be in the moment when I'm doing. So that is influenced by my experience in art therapy. Okay.
Audrone, you mentioned something that you do, which is an area which is very new to me and which is very new to, I think, I'm sure a lot of Indians are. I've never heard it even said in an American context or or anywhere else, which is called art therapy. And you are a practitioner of art therapy, and you are what you call an art therapist. So what exactly is this? Who are the people who need art therapy, and what is the process for you to get to them, and how does it help people?
So art therapy is as a profession, and as a profession developed in America and UK after Second World War. When after this war, many disabled men, soldiers, back to hospitals, and many artists also start to decide to went to hospitals to help what they can, and they start use their drawing and painting for this disabled soldiers, and not only soldiers. And in that period was realized that this practice very much help for healing, for emotional state, and for fine and gross motor development.
Nerves, motor as in your...
Yeah. So it's a psychosomatic...
right. You mean the motor functions of your body?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm talking about fingers and arms.
Right.
Yes. So that was the beginning of idea to develop the profession, and later the people and enthusiastic, they of course they organize associations and discussions what can be and what program can be for to teach to learn art therapy. So one thing, and that and also is like a service. Also, the idea of service of art therapy started. But I will talk about visual art. But in the same movement was with music therapy and with dance movement therapy. It's called like creative therapies. But I'm representative of visual art therapy. So the first academic programs of art therapy started in America and US around 1970s.
Okay.
So it's a very, we can say, new profession.
Yes, of course.
So now, around 30 countries we can find this education in universities. So art therapists and music therapists and dance movement therapists, if you became such professional, you need to go to university in a master program. So in Lithuania, so the idea, what is the idea of the field? The idea of the field also started from the works of Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung about unconscious. And as you know, that this psychotherapists, they describe as they were first who describe unconscious as a space of our repressed emotions and everything. So this idea from one side and from the other side, like artists very much start to use this idea of unconscious and connect it with the art process. So now, what else? In Lithuania, I'm the person who, as I said, that after Lithuanian independence, in society we realized that very much need of self-expression, emotional expression, and self-knowledge, and this. Services are psychotherapy and different kind of psychotherapy start developed. So arts therapy is a kind of psychotherapy, but we use art process. In visual art we use everything, all practice in which we can create a visual product like clay, painting, drawing, anything. Then in music therapy they use all kind of instruments and sounds, and in drama movement, of course, they use movement and role playing. So yes, so in Lithuania I was one of the other people who we start this profession and field, and now in Lithuania we have in 2 universities 2 master's program in art therapy. We have already more than 20 years activities in Lithuanian Art Therapy Association, and also we are, and as individuals and as a program, academic program, and as an association we belong to European unions, European Art Therapy Federation, and CARTA is a European Consortium for Arts Therapies Education. So that what we already have in Lithuania is, I can say, is established education and service. So but in India I met very enthusiastic professionals also, who I know who already started this movement, what we pass in Lithuania. They also already started to create this academical program, and many, not many, but there are a group of people who already graduated basically in US and in UK this arts therapist profession. So these people who are educated abroad, they try to do a professional education here in India. So this is like a content, and for what people. So I can tell that for different kind, art therapy is applying for kids with different problems, like with emotional problems, developmental problems. Then for adults with depression, with cancer, with also for seniors, because now also neuroscience very much investigate, making like scientific research how the brain is, what is happening with brain when we are creating. So when we drawing, it's also very clear that big spaces of brain are active. Also when we imagining and when we trying to express. So it's a like very much scientifically proved field, and also academically established programs. So, and also I just happy to know that here in India good professionals and big enthusiasts also going into this field.
But does this exist in India? Are there courses which are designed, art therapy courses in India?
They not yet master program, but under like some postgraduate program. I know in Mumbai, 5 year program, postgraduate, and but this my colleagues, Indian colleagues, try to create, and they are on the way to create master program like we have already in Europe and in America. But I think also what is interesting that Indian colleagues try to adapt this field to Indian society, and because this is very Western understanding of concept of mind and application, and these Indian colleagues very wise try to adapt to Indian understanding of and life and how you can apply this. So I think this is very wise.
So it is essentially a branch of psychology, isn't it?
Branch of psychotherapy.
Psychotherapy, which basically is about helping people express themselves through art and solve their psychological problems.
Yeah, because idea is that a creative process gives us possibility to be in a mood, unconscious mood. Via creative process, very easy to reach our part of personality which we can want to control. So this is also the very much idea of that Western psychotherapy, and then maybe for Indian people can be seen very strange why we need to reach. So understanding is of this Western psychotherapy field that when we make our unconscious part as much as possible conscious, we became more mature and more understand ourselves. And this we can do via creative process, very like light and natural, because a creative process is natural for each human being.
Right.
Kids start drawing, they even can't speak good enough, but they already draw.
To understand this better, this field, because I didn't even know that it was in the US.
This is very interdisciplinary field, because that professional need to know the creative process itself, need to be free in a creative process, as well as to know the psychology of the person, and also tools of how to behave in a process.
See, to understand this better for the audience can you give us an example or take us through the process of a personal case that you have handled and how you helped that person? Like, I think in the kind of situation that you are talking about, where it gained momentum, is because a lot of people learned not to express themselves because they were under a regime in Lithuania. And then when it came through in the 1990s, you realize that it had certain impact on their lives, and they were not able to express themselves because they have not expressed themselves for 50 years.
Yes, but I can share one case, not about adults and regime, but about one adopted girl. She was 10 years old, and this adopted girl was sexually abused. So this adopted parents took her from some government house where she was, and that because she was took away from her mother because she was sexually abused by mother's husband, not her father. So they adopted her, this family, and they came to me to ask me to help her be better in her school, because for her it was very difficult to concentrate her attention. She behaved in a class very not concentrating, and so we talked with her that to reach more concentration, maybe she need to express her feelings, what she experienced, that traumatic experience. So when we started to walk with her, so she was very in the process, in the painting and in the process of clay, and she expressed very much her angerness in that what she did, what she visualized, and after when she expressed her angerness, because what she need to express angerness, how some adult behave with her. So she then went to her school and told to her psychologist about the case. So it is that was a good result, because she was more brave to talk about this. So I didn't want to tell nothing more, and also so I need to think, but it's always is when you are doing this process with people, there always you can be witness of the big insights and understanding of
the trauma.
Yes, it's a traumas, not necessarily should be very big traumas, but
Right.
people it's similar if you you write something on your notes, yes, and you draw the schema, and your schema of table, it's help you to more understand about what you're thinking. So the Gestalt theory, Gestalt therapist also say that drawing itself is a schema. When we're drawing, we can see from outside to as a schema, as a structure. We can look onto the drawing as onto structure.
So it's like looking at it from the outside, even when you're drawing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you have never drawn this.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying, right?
Yeah, and also you can be detached
right.
from your experience. You can observe from outside.
Right, as a lay person, as someone who's completely
This is a most strong feature of art therapy, and also that you not need to have skills in drawing. Absolutely, it's not only necessary, but it's better that you have no skills, because when person who have skills in drawing, he is also very much connected with these skills, how to draw, and not
Right.
so spontaneous.
Right. I think what you're trying to say, please correct me if I'm wrong, is that particularly what is happening in this kind of a therapy is like this girl was adopted and was sexually abused. And if she's drawing, for example, and if she's able to come out and look at her own drawing as if somebody else has drawn it, that is how she needs to view her own problem and find it, because it's always easy to give advice to somebody else, than to follow that advice yourself, so when you're actually looking at the drawing from as a person who has probably not drawn it, though you have a more impartial, unbiased view of it than you would have if you think, okay, this is my drawing.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. And also I want to say that many examples of early memories are was happening with adults when they draw and they suddenly realize, oh my God, I draw what happened with me when I was a child, and he was completely forgotten. So it's like, it's like a lot of insights, and so I can tell you that I'm in art therapy more than 20 years now, and I'm always surprising how this insight's happening, how people just draw, and then when you are talking, because when after drawing, after creation, the reflection, the about what you draw, how you felt, and also that art therapist is observing how his process is going. So that's like conversation. It's necessary to have. That helped very much to get insights of what's happening, and after such conversation, you can look to the same drawing absolutely differently. So after such conversation, many people just surprising me, and until now it's surprising, because how it's like a miracle. It's very connected, because when we live every day, we not think about that we have brain here. We not see our head. We see our head only when we look to the mirror. So we see our hands, we see our feet, everything, but not head, not brain. We not think what we have brain. But in this process, going very much big connection between brain, between our feelings, and the hand is our only tool which express what is inside.
But does this happen with you, that like this girl, and somebody sharing a part of their life with you, and so are you at sometimes get emotionally attached, or is
with
it
such stories, with such process?
with the whole process, because that
Yes,
person
of
is.
course.
So is it how do you detach yourself from?
Yes, thank you for question. This in our profession is necessary to have supervisions, because when you walk with different people in art therapy, so you sure you will hear different stories, and not nice at all, and difficult stories.
Right.
And of course you became attached and just shocked how it can happen in the world. And you also witness the images you can see. But all of this, my as a professional emotional state, I need to talk with my supervisor. So in our profession,
so you have a supervisor?
Yeah. So in our profession is necessary to have supervision regularly, not like every day, but it's the supervisor. It's helped us to see the process also, because as you asked me about emotional attachment, so it's happening because I am human, and I am also need to react sensitive, not to close myself from the process. So, but if it's too much attachment, then I need to go to supervisor and to talk with it, because this too much attachment can also can be with my personal story.
Right,
It
absolutely.
can resonate with
With
me
you.
personally.
Right.
So
Like
that
if you were a sexually abused person yourself.
yeah.
Oh my God.
So then it's necessary to go to talk with supervisor, and we also, it's a very interesting process. It's really
Wow.
yeah.
So an art therapist will also have a therapist about.
Absolutely, our professional requirement that we ourselves need to go to first personal psychotherapy. I need to have some amount of hours in personal psychotherapy, but also it's a professional supervision. If we what we talk now about this emotional engagement in that process, too strong emotional engagement,
Right.
or some story very resonate me personally that I can reflect normally. So then I need to go to supervisor.
And see, like this is extremely heavy for you, even otherwise. Like what you're saying is that it can happen that you are thinking, like when you're listening to this, and you're thinking, wow, how can this even happen in the modern world? And this is all happening in front of my eyes, and I've never noticed it, even with whatever, because the stories must be terrible, most of them. So, what kind of a personal toll does it take on you as a person, as a therapist? I mean, you're going to a therapist, but how does it affect your personal life? I mean, other than getting emotionally attached and trying to detach yourself from there, but does it also take a toll on you as a person? And
Your question is like if some cases very much affect my life personal.
yeah, does it take a toll? Not as in personal life. I mean, how does it affect you? Does it take a toll on you as a person? That, or are you able to detach yourself with the help of with the help of another therapist? But there is still something which would stay back, with you, and does it keep on? Like example.
I will tell you, it make me more humanistic.
It makes you more humanistic,
Yeah.
right?
It's make me less judgment.
Wow.
It's make me more sensitive, and make me more realistic, because I like to too much idealize people, and such practice give me more feel of reality. Like it's very good practice. It's
Right, of course. And this whole journey that you've been on for the last 20 years, and you started the first test that you gave was about a doctor operating on a patient, And I would love to hear about your journey as an artist, as a painter, because you've been a painter. And how has this part of you, which is art therapy, which makes you more sensitive and more humane, how has this contributed to your own journey as a painter? It would be really nice to know what your journey as a painter has been over the last 30 years, 40 years, whatever the time that you have been a painter. And because now, I mean, that's what I meant to say, that I think a lot of painters, they evolve over time. They start, it's not about being abstract or not abstract, but people start discovering pleasure in their own art, and just doing what they want. They don't need I think all of us begin with trying to make the world understand what we are doing. And then it goes internally to what we are trying to understand about ourselves. It doesn't start with trying to understand about ourselves. It starts with trying to impress others, and then it starts to begin about yourself as an artist. I think as any artist, with films, I'm sure it's a little different because it's too much money is involved. But with painting or with photography, with clay, with anything else, it's a little more possible to be just yourself as an artist. So how has this journey been for you as a painter? If you can just deconstruct this journey for yourself, and where do you see yourself, like when you were 10 years old or 3 years old when you started painting, to where you are today as an artist?
So now I said already that I very much try to keep the process of creative process be here now when I'm painting, and I try, which she was influenced by our understanding of art therapy process, and I try to give me freedom to and to trust myself what I want to do, and because I can have some sense, for example, that I want to maybe do like that or like opposite, but maybe some judgment inside said, oh no, maybe you not do this, maybe it's too crazy or not nice. So that I try to avoid and to trust my that inner what I want to do, and I following this idea, and the past of my drawings, which I'm doing now 2 years, I very much see connection that I'm change countries when I'm shifting to India, and these paintings very much help me for adaptation, because I see that I'm express, I'm draw how I'm feel, how different world I'm faced, and how I'm not do this consciously, but I'm later I observe that I'm draw and I'm connecting that this is how I feel when I'm change the worlds, when I'm start live here.
And we can, I think this has become a little heavy in terms of discussion. But what do you think, because you've been in India now for some time, so we can just quickly shift to something which is a little more lighter. And if you can tell us about, I think we are somewhere around wrapping up this episode too, about what the kind of food in Lithuania, because we can just quickly, if you can, tell us that what is the kind of
food.
Yeah, food in Lithuania. What is your principal diet, and what is it? Is it like a Mediterranean diet, or?
Yeah, it's a very Lithuanian food is very fat, because I think this is a cold country, and in all cold countries, and I know in other like North European countries, we have a lot of fat food, like fat meat with potatoes and sour cream and butter. But because in a recent decade people are traveling a lot, so of course they also became Lithuanians a lot more educated in this field, and they noticed that this fat food is not healthy. So they like very much salads from Mediterranean, and
right.
Very changed. Now you maybe, and very popular. Also, Asian food is very popular. Indian food is popular, and Chinese food is popular because of a lot of vegetables, a lot of vegan recipes, which in Lithuania not so much, and because of climate. So also vegetables are. We very Lithuanian vegetables is beetroot, cabbage, carrots, potatoes, and now is more developed from abroad. So what I found here is such a old and rich tradition in India of recipes. It's
yes.
Wow! We haven't such. We have, but of course, much less. And
because I think India is
more
also
simple. We not also Indian food is very long preparation, mixing. So in Lithuanian food is more simple.
Mm-hmm. But it's also because of the weather, right? Because that's why it's so cold.
Exactly.
That's why you eat more potato, and because you need fat. So
and also exactly, and also a lot of. Sour preparation,
right.
like cabbage we're doing with salt and and make them sour. Then they can we can keep via winter and such. Because we haven't, not like in India, all seasons you can have fresh fruits and vegetables. We have autumn for apple. We have autumn for all harvest. And then we have different ways how to keep them via winter until summer and again autumn. So because yes.
So you have been, you've kept on telling me when we started out, my English is not very good, and not very good as in I don't know how, and we have almost crossed more than 2.5 hours, and you have been wonderful, and I don't think that there is anything. I think your communication skills are excellent. I think English. I mean,
I think in this past 2 hours I am very developed in English.
So that's my contribution to your life. No, but I think it was wonderful to talk with you, and I think you communicated excellently, and particularly I think what I understood about your job, and which is very difficult about being an art therapist, is something that I had no idea about this personally, and I understood the challenge of being. I think the principal challenge in being an art therapist or any kind of a therapist would be to be sensitive and yet be detached.
Yeah.
I think that is a huge challenge. I think because somewhere what you said is that a certain part of a story might resonate with your personal life, and then you might just get dragged into that story and and get emotionally involved.
So, but also you can. It's interesting because you must love each your client, but in such love that you not be attached.
Yeah, that's a really tough thing to do, I guess, because all of us have this. We are human eventually, and so it was such a wonderful conversation, honestly. And I have this one small request of you, which I think I told you, and you said, okay. What happened was that in the break, I told Audrone that look, we need to understand and we need to hear what the Lithuanian language sounds like. So it would be wonderful if you can sing a song for us. And she said, oh, just about some days back, my husband's friends had come over and they asked me to sing a song, and then I started singing, and I realized that we don't really have too many happy songs in Lithuania. And I said, no, but why do you need... So let me think of a happy song to sing. And I don't think that is what we are going to do in this podcast. We are going to get you to sing a song which you want to sing. And our whole idea is that you give us a song which you are very comfortable with and which you want to sing. And later, after you sing the song, you can tell us or you can tell us at the beginning what the song is about. And then we can take it from there. Yeah, so the mic is yours, and I think we would love to hear one of the oldest living languages that she said in the world, and we would love to hear what a Lithuanian song sounds like. So Audrone, can you just tell us what the song is about and then sing it?
Okay, so the song is that some girl is standing on the hill, and the young man with the horse is riding close to her, and she's standing and carrying and have some pot with water, and he asked her to drink water, and she said, but I can't stand here and talk with you because it's very cold for me. But you can drink this water, like that. This conversation between young woman and young man.
So it has a tinge of romance in it,
Yes.
Ah, but then...
So she said that she flirting. She said that now it's too cold for me. I can't stand and talk with you too long.
So is she flirting or is he flirting, or both of them?
She.
Ah, okay. He's just looking for water.
No, I think he looking for water because he likes her.
So yeah, please, let's hear this.
Okay. Ant kalno gluosnys, pakalniai šulnys, ten stovėjo mergužėlė pati savo viena, ten stovėjo mergužėlė pati savo viena, atjo bernelys, žirgelio girdėt, o aš basa, nušals kojelės, gaili rasa, o aš basa, nušals kojelės. Negaliu stovėt, su tavim kalbėt, gaili rasa, o aš basa, nušals kojelės.
That is so beautiful. And it's a very nice rhythm, actually. Because when she started off, she said that, will you sing zoom, 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 zoom? And I think it was so terrible. Then she said, okay, why don't I just sing it? This is because the first thing you told me was that Lithuanian songs are generally sad, and they're largely folk songs, right?
Yeah.
So do you have a small piece of what that kind of a song is? Do you remember?
That's sad?
Yeah.
That sad is about that parents are preparing her son to the war.
Oh my God.
And many songs about that they like separating couple or family with some young men who are leaving for war.
Oh, so these are generally war-related songs.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a piece which you can just...
You want?
Yes, please.
Okay.
It will be...
Oi ant kalno, ant aukštojo stovi pilkas akmenėlis, oi, stovi pilkas akmenėlis, ant to pilko akmenėlio sėdi tėvas motinėlė, oi, sėdi tėvas motinėlė. Sėdėdami gailiai verkia, san sūnelį karan rengia, oi, san sūnelį karan rengia. Oi, sūnelį, tu raitelį, ką tu tuti pasiklosi, oi, ką tu tuti pasiklosi. Pasiklosiu gailių rasų, o žemelių užsiklosiu, oi, o žemelių užsiklosiu.
Wow. It's almost like a ballad, no? It's a... Wow. What is it about? I mean...
So it's about the parents are sitting on the stone and crying because... the son need to leave for war, and they're asking how you will be there, where you will sleep there, and he said, I will put some soil below me and to cover myself with some, I don't know, morning drops of dew. Yes.
Oh wow. Wow, this is super, this is so nice, lovely. So it was so, thank you so much. I mean, at the end of it, you also sang for us. I mean, what more could it, how more else could this have ended? And this was such a lovely conversation, and I think I am a little wiser about, and I hope my audience is too, about art therapy and what Lithuania is like, you know. I mean, and I'm telling you, it's very different to know that the USSR broke away and it broke into so many countries, and it's very different to actually hear it from a person and understand that it was a siege, and it was and it was freedom for other people, and what you heard it differently, and the point of view will always be, I'm sure it will always be different for different people, but it was so amazing to hear it first person from someone who has lived through it and and that whole freedom phase that she believes is, and it was literally really amazing. And Audrone, thank you so much for your time and for this lovely conversation, and Thank you.
Thank you for so interesting questions, and I hope it will be interesting for other people also.
I'm sure it'll be more than interesting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed part 2, that is the final part of my conversation with painter and art therapist Audrone Brazauskaite. If you wish to contact Audrone for an online art therapy session or maybe to check out or buy her paintings, you can send her a WhatsApp message on her Lithuanian number +370 652 92081. Please remember, +370 is the country code, so the complete number is +370 652 92081. You can also email her at a.brazauskaite@gmail.com. Let me spell it for you. a.brazauskaite@gmail.com. And here is my film record. Like part 1, I would like to recommend a Lithuanian film yet again. The Lithuanian film I recommend today, and I hope I pronounce it right, is Tiuman Nieko Neprimeni. The English title of the film is Slow. Written and directed by Marisa Kavtaradze, Slow won the Dramatic Directing Award at the Sundance Film Festival in 2023. The story of Slow revolves around a budding romance between a dancer Elena and a sign interpreter Dovidas, where the male partner announces that he is asexual at the beginning of the relationship. Can love survive and bloom beyond the physical? Can the couple build their own kind of intimacy? Slow rates a high 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb. Do watch if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter by following my Twitter handle Atul Taishete, spelled as ATULTAISHETE. Also, do visit my website Conversations, that is Conversations plural with an S. The complete website address is conversationswithatul.com. So see you next Friday at 10 p.m. with a different guest, a new episode and a fresh conversation right here on Conversations with Atul. Have a rocking fun week and stay safe. Thank you.